Welcome the spring, the summer rain, softly turn to sing again. Welcome the bud, the summer blooming flower. Welcome the child whose hand I hold. Welcome to you, both young and old. We are ever new. We are ever new. Welcome the spring, the summer rain, softly turn to sing again. Welcome the bud, the summer blooming flower. Welcome the child whose hand I hold. Welcome to you, both young and old. We are ever new. We are ever new. Welcome the spring, the summer rain, softly turn to sing again. Welcome the bud, the summer blooming flower. Welcome the child whose hand I hold. Welcome to you, both young and old. We are ever new. We are ever
Hi, everyone. We have the pleasure of welcoming the one and only Beverly Glenn-Copeland to the Lot Radio. How are you doing, Glenn?
Oh, thank you, Taja. I'm doing
On
very
this
well.
rainy day.
Yeah, I'm looking out through this tiny little perfect studio and going, wow, there's all the things in here.
There's a lot of things crammed into the studio here.
This is great, and the fact that it's live, I'm kind of awestruck here.
Yeah, if you look to the right, you can see us a couple of moments ago talking. I have to say, it's very surreal to be listening to Keyboard Fantasies next to you humming the melodies.
Oh, well, yeah, that's a little surreal for me too, because I don't normally listen to my own music, or whatever it is. I don't listen to it often, so it's
We were just
pleasure.
talking about the importance of melodies and how you think of them stacking on top of each other.
Yeah.
The importance of the bass. Do you have anything else to say?
Yeah, I hear the music that comes to me from wherever that is, and through me that I sort of co-create with. It comes in very simple forms, usually 4 bars, 8 bars, maybe 16 bars at the most. And I don't hear very complex things in the initial things that come through. But what happens is that on top of those 8 bars or 16 bars, I hear, well, I won't say infinite because that's not true, but easy for me to hear 16 different melodies, right? And then I have to sort of go, well, I get greedy, right? I go, they're all totally important. No, I can't let go out of one of them. Right? But then I have to go, okay, let's get real here, right? Which of these melodies is really conveying what it is that you're hearing, and then I calm down and I let go of, 10 of them, but there's still 5 left. Oh, well, yeah.
And then alongside those melodies, the bass is very important to you too. We happen to have Carly Howell here, Glenn's incredible bass player, among many other things. Do you want to say hi, Carly?
Sure. Hi, everyone. Great to be here.
How are you doing? What did you think of the performance yesterday?
Oh my God, I had such a beautiful time. It was just such a reverent space. It felt like going to church of Glenn.
It did. There was actually a choir that sings Glenn's music in Philly that came to the performance and sang with and for us.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing.
It's incredible.
So can you talk a little bit about how you two met?
Oh, okay. I love this story. Okay. So I was invited to play with a small orchestra in Toronto, in Canada, called the Queer Songbook Orchestra, composed of folks who consider themselves queer and queer because they don't care how they're considered.
Or queer allied.
Or queer allied. That's what I mean. Mm-hmm. So and just a lovely group. How many people, Carly, would you say? About 10, 12 maybe?
12 to 14. Oh, I know exactly how many. 12.
12.
Yeah.
Okay, so 12 folks. So I was honored to be asked to play in a concert of theirs, and several people, different arrangers, arranged different pieces. I think 3 different pieces. And so Carly was playing as the bass player for one of them, and she was subbing actually for the person who was normally the bass player, but I didn't know that.
That was my first gig with them.
It was first gig. So Carly played, and we were in rehearsal, and I was out of sight, so Carly couldn't see me. So she was like playing some other things that were not on this program, and I was listening around the corner with my jaw on the floor. And I went, oh my goodness, I have to have this person play with me. I have to. So I said to Carly afterwards, I said, Carly, would you consider playing with me? And she said yes. And it took me about another 1.5 years before I could afford to fly her out, or to fly to where she was to practice, because everybody else that I asked to play with me was in the same area, right, of the country, and Carly wasn't. So she was the last to join, but she was actually the first one. And she was the bass player. And that's the point. It's like you start with the bass. Anyway, that's my story about that. Yeah.
That's amazing. Very good first impression. Okay. Well, I guess we can come back and chat a little later. We can play a few more
Okay.
songs.
Yeah,
then
and
chat
I
a
just
little
wanted
bit
to say
more.
thank you, everybody, for all of those of you who are writing in. I'm from 1902, and I don't know how to write back, but thank you very much.
The wind rolls over hillside. The day greets the dawn. The sun dances down beside this road we are on. Let us dance down the road. 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 The wind rolls over hillside. The day greets the dawn. The sun dances down beside this road we are on. Let us dance down the road. Let us dance down the road. Let us dance down the road.
And we're back. It's a very, very rainy day in Greenpoint, and we're here with Beverly Glenn-Copeland. Hi again, Glenn.
Hi again, Taja.
You know, it's been really great just hearing you and Carly talking about the music, because for me, you know, it only exists in this very specific form, but for you all, it's still living and breathing, and there are ways of reimagining it and thinking of it, and maybe having a marimba player, or maybe having strings added, and all these other things. It's really exciting for me.
Yeah, it's exciting for us too, you know, because we dream.
Yeah.
Maybe one day.
You were saying that you haven't listened to this in a while, or that you don't often listen to your own music.
I rarely, if ever, well, I can't say if ever, I'm forced to listen to it now because everybody else is listening to it. So I sort of have to be, you know, be reacquainted and sometimes I have to figure out how to play it, right?
Yeah.
Right, but generally I don't listen to the music that I've written in the past. I'm always living in the future. Or,
Yeah.
I'm living in the now, but the now is pressing. The now is continually like, okay, what do I want to do now, or what's coming through now, or then there's what I want to do now, and then there's what is coming through now, and they're not always the same, but yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah. Any new insights listening to Keyboard Fantasies now? I know you were talking about waltz time and how you're realizing that you do a lot of things in 3/4.
Yeah, well, actually, I realized this not too long ago, maybe a couple of years ago, that I primarily hear things in threes, which, you know, in Europe was called waltz time. In Africa, they were 12/8 time was 4 divided by 3. So so it's got 3 in it, although that, you know, there's 4. But I seem to really hear that. And interestingly enough, I think it's what is needed now, because 4 is a very martial thing, and it's meant for a more aggressive energy, basically. And 3 does something to the body. It calms us down. And, you know, I didn't even really realize it until I started investigating it a little bit, and I found that that's what it does.
And very danceable.
Oh, would love to, but the dancing is like, I mean, because you can dance to 4 and you can boogie your head
Yeah.
off, and I do too. It's not like I don't, right? But it's that, you know, that 3 is like da 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 ya da. It's just got a whole different vibe to it, right? Yeah.
Oh,
We
wait,
were
yeah,
talking
Carly,
the
jump
other
in.
day, I was speaking with Glenn. I studied when I was a teenager with a vibraphone player in the States named Greg Carroll, and he was speaking about swing and how to really like understand the feeling of swing and the accents on 2 and 4. And he said the basics of it are that when you're marching, you're pushing your foot into the ground. But if you're really appreciating, oh, there's Posey, our film director.
Oh, Posey, great.
If you're feeling a love for the earth and valuing the earth, then the emphasis is not on putting your foot in the ground, but it's on lifting it out. And so it becomes a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and it's about that up pull. And I think that translates also into, if you think about like 6/8, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like putting that accent on 4 is kind of the same as putting it on 2 and 4 in 4/4. So I think that's like where that translates. And then also, if you think about 6/8 being overlaid, like the presence of like 4/4 and 6/8 together in like polyrhythmic music and African music, Brazilian music, like a lot of those influences that you have, it's like 4/4 and 6/8 and 3/4 all exist at the same time.
I need Carly for erudite, because she understands things I don't. Okay.
We just have different languages for what
I-
we understand.
Okay, but I know many of you will understand that. But for those of you that didn't, I'm among you.
I think it's beautiful because you're saying the same thing in your own way.
In our own language. Yeah.
And you come to the same place.
We do. Yes,
we
totally.
meet the music, regardless of how
Yeah.
we talk about it.
Yeah.
That's a good way of putting it. You
Yeah.
meet at the music.
Yeah. Thanks, sweetheart.
Okay. Let's play one
Oh, wait,
last
wait,
one. Oh,
I
go
wanted
ahead,
to say
Glenn.
one thing, which is the red-headed person that you saw sitting and swaying beside me. That was my wife, Elizabeth, who happened to be here too. So I invited her in. I thought maybe she'd have time to say hello, but she didn't. So I'll say hello for her. Hello to everybody from my wife, Elizabeth. And she wishes you all a joyous day.
That's beautiful. And we also had a visit from Posey Dixon, who just finished a documentary about Glenn, in which Carly is shows up in the film.
Yeah.
Carly's in there.
Make some appearances.
Also called Keyboard Fantasies.
Oh, yes, it is, isn't it?
So yeah, I guess we'll close it out with Sunset Village. Glenn, thank you so much. Carly, thank you so much. It's been great hanging out with you at the
Thank you
lot.
so much, Taja. And thank you, everybody that's listening. Thank you. Blessings to one and all.
Let it go now. It's okay. Let it come, let it take all thoughts away. Let it go down. It's okay. Let it come, let it take all thoughts away. Let it go down. It's okay. Let it come, let it take all thoughts away. Let it go down. It's okay.